Welcome to Sensual Secrets, where we talk about how you can live in pleasure by embracing your feminine energy, finding and nurturing a deeply loving relationship, and growing into the best version of yourself. My name is Lieke Seles, and I will be your host, guiding you on this intimate journey of self-discovery. I hope you really enjoy, and please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of Sensual Secrets. Today I want to talk about just being versus trying to be in your feminine, and how we can set a container with our masculine, our inner masculine, to be able to be in our feminine. So what does it mean, feminine energy? How do we embody that? Your feminine energy gets expressed when you move with the flow of life, when you embrace your creative energy, when you dance and play, and when you attune to your internal processes, when you attune to feeling and being. And the reason that I mentioned being, just being, instead of trying to be in the feminine, is because it's so important that we don't overthink being in the feminine. And we make it another goal, another obligation, or another to-do that's been added to our to-do list. The whole point is to get out of the doing into the just being and surrendering to whatever unfolds, however life unfolds, and to the flow of whatever shows up in life. That means that we have to let go of control and of wanting things to fit into a certain box or fulfill all of our expectations that we have created in our mind. For example, when I had my birthday party in Bali and we had spent the day setting up beautiful spaces around the house and different areas in the garden for people to enjoy and be cozy, which, by the way, to me, setting up these spaces is mainly feminine energy, because even though we are doing that with our masculine and moving furniture and working our asses off, we are acting in a creative flow and feeling into how we want these spaces created and let that unfold through our actions. But so my friend who helped me set it all up got disappointed during the evening because of the fact that everybody was gathering in one certain corner of the garden. And she wanted to move everybody to this other beautiful area since no one had truly enjoyed it. And we created it with so much love. But since everybody was vibing in this one corner, I told her, why would we move all of them, since this is the flow of the party, of the energy? This is the flow of how people want to be, where they gather naturally, what's feeling right in the moment. Moving them would break that flow, and it would also break the vibe that naturally unfolded. When I told her this, she realized that she was just trying to adjust something that was already really good, just the way it unfolded naturally. And in a way, she wanted to control things, to be a certain way, as we expected it to be, to match the picture that we had painted in our minds in advance. But is it necessary to change and adapt and control to fit into our own box of thinking? I invite you to reflect on the following. When are you holding on to control instead of letting things flow the way they are? And being in the feminine doesn't mean to just surrender to any negative experiences, but to let go of the resistance of things unfolding. And that is surrender to a positive flow of life. As I mentioned before, we don't want being in the feminine to become another task to do. But in order to be able to fully let go, it can help to set a container with your masculine for your feminine to flow freely. This is, for example, what I had to do when starting my business, and still now it's such a good practice. What I would do is I would set up a container for myself to work in, and within that container, my feminine could flow freely without having any restrictions or anything else to think or worry about. So I would go to my favorite cafe, give myself a time frame of 2 hours without any interruptions no phone, no social contact, and then sit down with a cappuccino or a cacao and let my creativity flow out. And I would write out ideas for my women's retreats or a new course. And usually, when I set this clear container for creativity, I get so much more done. And I'm always so happy and inspired by the result of that creation, because what flows out is just from another level. It's coming from the heart. And another example of setting that container is from my friend who wants to balance out her masculine and feminine more, because she's such a success-driven woman who's always thinking of efficiency, and she's so driven in her career, and she is really successful, which is beautiful, but she's feeling too much in her masculine by being constantly in a doing mode. She can't take a break. She can't just rest, relax, or be. It always has to be with a certain reason for the efficiency. And so what she does is she sets a container to go to the beach and to not work or do anything during those hours. And she might dance or journal or just watch people pass by. And she might play in the water, but the most important thing is that she doesn't have to do anything during that time. And actually, she's really trying not to do anything during that time, because it doesn't come easy to everybody to just be, especially not because we're in this masculine survival mode in our Western world. And it can require some practice to fully let go and to be able to relax without having to scratch an itch of doing something. And so it's not just this container that is important, but also the setting is important for the feminine to feel safe and to take the stage. And creating a safe space for yourself, which aligns with what your feminine desires, is something that can really help her to come out. So, for example, do you want to bring in some more plants in your living area? Or do you want to buy some soft pillows and blankets or some cute dimmed lighting? How can you tune into that softness, that feminine, the sensuality? Do you want to work with certain colors in your room or certain fabrics? What invigorates your senses? And what aligns with your feminine energy? The flowy, creative, cozy, unbounded, chaotic energy. For example, I am living in a bungalow which is connected to a co-working space. But some way or another, I always end up working in my room. I just like working in my room. I like working on my bed. It just feels as if I have a cozy nest in which I can create and play around. And I can be in all different kinds of positions and enjoy my cozy environment. And that is where my work flourishes, from that place of safety and feminine energy. So even though for the outside world it might not seem as efficient as sitting behind a desk and just getting your things done, for me this really works when creating, when feeling inspired to. Is it some social content? Is it a podcast? Is it a new course? Or even when I do one-on-one calls with my clients, I'm really intentional with which energy I want that setting to be in. So think about this. In which way can your inner masculine be of service to your feminine and create a safe container or a safe space so that she can flow freely? And I'll leave it at that. Have a beautiful day.